Good evening, folks, and welcome to Four Collectors. My name is Dan. I am not a four collector. I'm kind of like a five collector. But you can see in the bottom there, I have my own channel called Dan's Vintage Baseball PC. And I just realized that my air conditioner is on. You probably don't hear me that well. So one sec. Sorry for showing you my derriere there. Anyway, so the purpose of this live stream is to discuss the Philly show. The Philly show is coming up this month, September. Today's the 1st. The Philly show is starting on Friday the 19th, Friday the 20th, Saturday the 21st, and Sunday the 22nd. So we're going to have 3 Philly show vets, Philly show people. And the first one I'm going to bring on, and we're going to hopefully have them all on at one point, is your friend and mine, John Keating. How are you, sir?
Good. How are you? Everything good?
Yeah. It's been a very quiet weekend. I went away for the beginning of the month and came back on Wednesday. So my first Labor Day weekend in New York City in quite a long time. Kind of a bummer, actually.
It's I don't know whether there is ever a more seismic shift in the year than this time of year because everybody's life gets turned upside down. People returning to school and in your commute to work, like my son just started his job this summer, and then I got all sorts of texts like, "Who the heck's going to school at 8:30? Why am I behind all these buses?" Like he's learning about all these things, and it's a
Yeah,
fun time of the year. We have football coming up and all that. Yeah.
I have a car in New York City, which in and of itself is insanity. But in the summer, it's fairly easy to park. Once September starts, it's a whole different ball game. So let me see. We got some comments. What is that? Is the show where the kid from Delco cuts Garvey cards up? Sorry.
I'm not from Delco. I'm from Chester County, Ruben. Come on, man. It's an insult. Yeah.
Hello. The wonderful Orlando and Don are coming in as lonely basement baseball cards. I don't know that person, but used to play pool tournaments.
Sounds like me.
Nice. So I guess we should talk a little bit about the Philly show. I should say I have been going to every one of them except one since 2021 when they returned from COVID. I think it was June of 21. So I think I've gone to like 8 or 9 of them. I can't do the math off the top of my head, but I know they're 3 times a year, March, September, and December. And they've been going on since 1975. They're currently at the Oaks, or in the town of Oaks. It's the Philly Expo Center. Is that what it's called? Something like that.
Yeah, it's 20 miles outside of town.
Yeah, it's near the King of Prussia Mall. It's right off of, I guess it's, I don't know, the turnpike there. Is that the turnpike? I don't know. It's Philly.
King of Prussia is the confluence of the turnpike, the Schuylkill Expressway, and then 422 is what the actual Oaks
that's it, 422
is located.
Yeah. I just turn on Waze. But previously,
so just for some context here, I actually grew up in Audubon, which shares the exit with Oaks. So you turn left to go to Oaks, you turn right to go to Audubon. It's right there. So that is literally my old stomping grounds. I live probably about 10 minutes away from there now, but it's very convenient for people like myself.
Yeah, I've done the drive. I've done the stayover. The stayover is obviously easier for me because, you drive 2 hours, you walk around for 6 hours, your legs are gone, and then you have to drive another 2 hours back to New York. It's a little bit much. I've done it. I think I've stayed over 3 times. So if I've done like 8 shows, that means I've done the back and forth 5. No, we stayed over 4 times. There are hotels there, which are, I guess, kind of walking distance, but not really. The expo is this giant plaza of a lot of different things in there, and there's some restaurants and some other things, but there's a couple of hotels. I've stayed at both of them, and they're both pretty standard. chain
Yeah,
hotels.
it's a Hampton Inn and a Hilton Garden Inn right there,
Yep.
and a Bob Evans for people of your vintage. You can get your Bob Evans pancakes there, or whatever the heck they sell.
East Coast rivalry shows. Well, I'm going to try to show quite a bit of respect for my Philly brethren in this show because the Philly show is, and I will admit this, better than any of the vintage shows in the New York area. It's better than Hofstra. It's better than Westchester. It's better than the times that the East Coast National has been in Westchester. It's better than the Northern Jersey shows. I'm going up to Peabody. I'm going up to the Shriner show in the first week of November to hang out with our mutual friend Mark Hoyle, of course. And so I'll see the Shriner show for the first time. But the Philly show, like I said, I keep coming back because it's so good. And we'll get into that.
Can you bring up Rick's comment real quick?
Rick. Okay.
Vintage dodgeball cards.
I don't see it.
Yeah,
I gotta go back.
6:05 p.m. Vintage oddball
6:05.
cards. He has a
Yeah,
question that. Yeah, I'm sorry, 9:05 p.m. I'm on the West Coast right now, dude.
I know. How's the
What do
Philly
you
show
think of
compare
that? That's a
with Strong-Lick? I think he means Strongville, but he's out on the West Coast too, so it's a little early. That's a good question because the difference I felt with Strongsville between Strongsville and Philly, a lot of overlap, no question about it, but virtually no modern in Strongsville, and a good half dozen, maybe more, local Cleveland guys that you wouldn't see in Philly. So I don't know that there were any dealers that are normally in Philly. I mean, a few that weren't set up also at Strongsville. So maybe Strongsville's a little bit better for vintage, but I don't know. What do you think, John?
I think that Philly has everybody that's at Strongsville for the most part, and then more. I think there's more vintage dealers
You
that
do?
go to
Okay.
Philly. Yeah, plus, I mean, it's just a better vibe, but it's a bigger show, but not overwhelming. But you're not missing anything. If you skip Strongsville and went to Philly, you're not missing anything. I think if you skipped Philly and went to Strongsville, you are. So I would, I'm partial, but I go to shows all over the country. So, you know, Philly and
Yeah.
Strongsville to me are better than Dallas, the Dallas Card Show, which is a
I
massive
have never
show.
been to Dallas. I should bring up Mookie with a little controversy here. Garfield show better than Philly? Really? I've seen every one of Sammy Thunder's videos about the Garfield show, and I don't know, maybe he's not presenting the depth or the width of the amount of people that are there as as vintage dealers, but I don't know. I kind of think Philly's better, but Mookie's been to Philly, uh, so I don't
Yeah,
know.
he was escorted out of Philly as well. So
I'm pretty sure that
probably
that is
there
what happened.
briefly. Yeah. But I think that I'm curious to ask people like that. I'm glad Rick asked because I am partial to Philly, but I think sure it's got more modern, but it's not overwhelming modern. It's not an annoying amount of modern, and it's not distracting. It's just short. It's there, and I know Ed and Mike O are supposed to be here, but
Yeah,
I was going to ask them the same thing because Mike O obviously seeks all things Phillies. Ed does a lot of non-sports collecting. So again, but it doesn't. Dallas, you have to wade through the modern to get to the vintage. It's the other way around, I think, in Philly.
yeah. I mean, with Philly, I've been there so many times now that I know where all the people that I want to go to generally are set up. So it's easy for me to go to like table 202 and then table 208 and then 400 or whatever. And they put a lot of the
Right.
big vintage guys are right in the front now. So you walk in the door, you can literally see the back of Ash's head, and you can see Howie Chasser's there, and Bill Chappell is right there. I mean, he's within probably 50 feet of the door. So I think the other thing that they've done with Philly, when it was in the Philly show used to be in a
Valley Forge Convention Center in KOP. Yeah.
no, it was in a a casino.
Yeah, Valley Forge. That's the Valley Forge
Okay, the
Convention
Valley
Center,
Forge.
Valley Forge Casino. Yeah.
Yeah, so it was a little harder to park. Parking, by the way,
Yep.
I have a cheat code that we'll get into in a little bit for the Oaks, but it was a little harder to park there, and also you had to deal with the fact that there were people going into the casino, and then you had to go downstairs, and the way it was set up, the big room was not big enough for what
It
it
was,
became.
yeah, it was very disjointed. It was very disjointed. You could
Yeah,
easily get lost, right? You had a lot of angles and stuff like that, so you wouldn't know where you were at times. Oaks
yeah,
is just a big square building. So
yeah. There was a point, and you're right. There were points where I would find dealers like back in behind, like under the stairs, that had good stuff. And I'm
right,
thinking to myself, this is not. And then they must have believed it too, that it wasn't a good situation
yeah.
for them. So they moved to the Expo in Oaks.
And
But the
by the
Expo,
way, it's very, Dan, it's very important. There was zero reception, cell reception in that basement of that Valley Forge Casino as well, which was difficult.
yep. There's here's an important. Philly show has more Jason Kelsey cards than Strong stuff. So I don't know. Do they have better Taylor Swift
But
cards?
Jason Kelsey shows up at the Philly show though. He doesn't show up in Strongsville.
Hey, Mike
He's a
is saying hi
local,
to you.
right? I don't know that guy. I don't know who that is. No idea.
Hey,
Hey,
yeah,
while
I
we're
guess
talking
the
about
other
that
guy.
stuff, yeah, Philly has a lot of autographs too, and not just locals. Like they do well bringing in the local teams. Like they'll bring in the 2008 Phillies uh, World Series champs, but they bring in Ricky Henderson and Dave Winfield's going to be at the next one, and Rodman's there, and Julius Erving. So they bring in some pretty heavy hitters to that show. If you're into autographs, it's pretty good for a regional.
So autographs was something that I was going to bring up because that's was one of the draws to me when I started going to Phillies, because I'm still working on that 70 set, and they were bringing in, Pete Rose and other. I mean, I already had Pete Rose at that point, but they're bringing in Joe
Right.
Pepitone came in one year. They bring in a lot of old guys, and the autograph selection at Philly, I think, is probably the best of any local show, maybe the best of any show other than the national. So that's another attractive part of it. But when they came to Oaks, I think there's like A, B, and C. So there's like three different convention centers in that big expo. And when they came the first time, they were in B, which was like too small. And they've been in A lot lately. And A is the bigger one where
Right.
it just opens up into like a giant room.
Right.
So,
Right.
and there was one time where they had a dog show next to the card show, which was kind of fun.
Yeah. Yeah.
Another time they had a beer expo in C, and I was tempted to go to the beer
Perfect. Yeah. Perfect. Yeah. Yeah.
expo.
I mean, there's always something going on there. Just so we know, it's not a convention center. It's an old factory or warehouse complex, and you'll have. That's where every Thanksgiving, NBC will have a dog show that they show on NBC. It's filmed there, but they have coin shows. They have cheerleading things and dance competitions, all that stuff. So yeah, it just used to be an industrial complex. Now they've built it up with some of these things.
Mike-O is here, so we can bring Mike in. Hey, Mike,
Yeah,
how are you?
man. Yeah. No.
I'm good. How are you guys?
Good. We've just been shooting the crap about Philly for a little bit.
Yeah, I heard you guys just talking about, you were mentioning the pet show that they
Yeah.
have. I think it was not this past one, but the previous show. I had just left like the card show, obviously the Philly show, and then my brother called me and was like, "Yeah, I went to the pet show. They had something, they called it a pet show. Obviously, he brought the dog, he had his daughter, all this stuff. They have all kinds of animals there in the same thing." I was like, "Oh, well, I guess we could have said hi," because he called me. He's like, "Yeah, it said something about a sports card show. Were you there?" I was like, "Yeah, I was there all day for like however many hours it was open until they said, 'Get the hell out,' security. You guys got to leave."
So I think somebody's holding a knife to Mookie Chilson's neck because now he's gone from saying it's a Jason Kelsey show to Philly is really an amazing show. Wonderful vintage selection, great area. I'm pretty sure somebody's got him by the balls there. So, but anyway,
It's a tough drive for Mike O too. You know, it's not around the corner for him, but he makes it there.
yeah,
every
Mike.
time.
Without telling us your exact address, where are you in the Philly area?
I'm over by not that far from like Warminster. It's if there's no traffic, the Philly show is probably like an hour.
Oh, okay.
It's not right there.
Yeah,
So.
I'm coming from New York, where it's about 2 hours. In fact, the last time I made it in like an hour and 58 minutes, doing like 85 down the New Jersey Turnpike. But it's been how many times? I've gone to it like 8 times. It's rained like 5 of those times.
I've rained a few times.
So I'm going to give up my parking cheat code. The parking at this place is
get there early. You'll be all right.
Yeah, well, yeah, but
that's one cheat.
Coming from New York, there's a gigantic parking lot way out, which is on the opposite side of that big building from the entrance to A. There's another one that's on the side, but then there's like some sort of factories or something next to it that have like parking in the back of them, like that's probably where the trucks pull in or used to pull in. You can get spots in there, which I don't know. Nobody's ever given me a ticket or anything, but you can usually get a spot in the back of what used to be like a trucking load-in area and just park in there. And I've never failed to get a spot there, and then it's like a 2-minute walk in the rain to the front door. So anyway, RJ Collect says long ago was a George Washington Convention Center in Willow Grove, which doesn't even exist anymore.
Yep.
That was a little closer when
that's
I was there.
Close. Yeah, it's closer to
Fort
Mike,
Washington.
Yeah,
I do remember. I can't remember how long ago it was in Fort Washington, but I don't know. That was I don't remember if I was like 14 or 20.
It keeps going
but
west.
Yeah.
Yeah. It keeps going west. It started in Willow Grove, then Fort Washington, and it was in KOP for a little while. Now it's in Oaks. It's
how far is it?
It'll
from
be
the
out by.
airport?
No, it's a haul. You got to go up the Blue Route.
I was going to say I see people fly in and they're
it's
like, "Well, it's not
hour.
right here." I'm like, it's the Philly show that's not right by necessarily everything you think Philly.
Yeah.
So
but it's worth it. It's worth going there. Come on,
it's an awesome show. I always enjoy the hell out of it. I mean, it's a mini national. It's obviously not the size and scope of the national, but you do have that mix of selection that you don't have at every show. I mean, you go to some of these mall shows and it's all brand new stuff, or even if it's vintage, it's the same old stuff. Like the Philly show, you got that pre-war selection, you got the vintage, you've got the brand new stuff, you got the new age guys live streaming and doing all that kind of crap. You've got a little bit of everything. If anything, it's gotten a little lighter on wax selection, which at this point, based on the prices, we're not missing much on that. But obviously, tons of autographs.
How long have you been going to the show, Mike?
I mean, off and on, I've gone since I was probably like 10 or 11 years old. So that's a while ago.
Yeah, I did.
That's 3 decades.
I actually did a little research and found out that the first show was 1975, and they've been going steadily since then. Used to be primarily vintage. Now it's a whole mix, as we know. When I first started, my first Philly show was the first one after COVID, so it would have been June of 2021. And I've gone to everyone since then except for one. And when I went in June of 21, there were a lot of modern. There were a lot of those kids walking around with their cases, and there were tables where you couldn't get down the aisle because there were so many people.
Is that the last one that they did at the casino? Because I think the last one at the casino was like you couldn't even move. It was uncomfortable.
I'd say they did 3 at the casino since after COVID, and then after that, Oaks, and it's been maybe 5 or 6 times at Oaks. That's my best estimate. But the one I'm talking about is the first one after COVID, when people were still wearing masks, just the amount of modern there was kind of striking to me. But all the vintage guys that were there then are still there now, plus probably more.
Well, you better be wearing masks if you're ripping people off with modern cards. You should have a mask on, that's for sure.
And then I know my friend Paul from Newport is now coming to Philly show. He's done it 3 times now. I know Ash has been at the Philly show maybe 4 times. So those are big dealers that have, decided that this is a show.
Yeah, Stan sets up there all the time as well.
Yep. Stan comes to Philly, but he doesn't come to New York. So you want to talk about an East Coast rivalry? There you go.
Stan's a smart guy.
What are we talking about here? What's the chat talking about?
So there's a lot of history to this show, right? I know it gets dropped every now and then. Stuke was talking about some things, but it's where the first Beckett book was released and sold out, right? In 1979. And one of my friends, one of my fellow collectors, sent me a card from that show. It has the date on it. It was I think it was Willow Grove. There's that, and also it's also the show from which Bill Mastro and whomever, Robert Leifson, whatever, went up to New York to get the Hannes Wagner. That was the first Hannes Wagner. They departed from that show to drive up to Long Island. So a lot of cool little tidbits attached to that show. It's long running, and there's a lot of card history in there.
I didn't know that there was a Roberto Clemente game-worn jersey sold at the Philly show. There has been a Babe Ruth game-worn jersey shown at the Philly show. There's been at least 3 Hannes Wagner cards that have been T206 cards that have been at the Philly show. So, yeah, you got and then Stuke's is 1976, 52 top set in mint condition for $950. All right, well, I'll offer $1,000.
How does here's a question for Mike, right? Mike collects the Philly stuff. Do you find, is it rich with stuff for you to get, Mike, time after time, or does it get harder and harder as the shows go on to find more stuff for your collection?
I mean, in a way, it's always getting harder just because some of the really old stuff, the things that you still need, get a little. They're pretty tough to find as is, so they're a little pricey. So even if you find it, sometimes you gotta hold off on it. But I still tend to find a lot of stuff. It's you can usually get a good enough price there. You have the benefit of it being in and around Philadelphia. So you have a lot of people bringing out maybe their old stuff, having the Philly stuff, people bringing out Philly stuff because it's in Philadelphia. And you would think maybe they'd be bumping the prices up. But nowadays, I feel like there's not really – it's not the old days. I mean, I'm sure there's local mall shows where you have, the local premiums. But I feel like with everything being so connected online and all that, you don't get as much of that. If you do, it's more on the modern stuff. So I'm still running into things, even if it's picking up photographs or something that's maybe not necessarily a card.
Well, I do see Philly stuff. I mean, since I go to primarily New York and Philly shows, New York shows, you see all Yankees, Dodgers, Brooklyn Dodgers, Mets. Philly shows, I see Schmidt stuff and, Eagles stuff that I would never see in New York. So I think there is a certain element of that. But I think that's the dealers sort of, customizing their inventory for a particular location. So Mark Hoyle hasn't bought cards in months. What's going on in this world? So
there's no more left for him to buy, Dan. He's bought them all. He's got 1 or 2 cards left he needs to get.
Well, I can tell you from experience, there's no space. John, have you been in the Mark Hoyle card room?
I have not.
Okay.
He's been kind enough to offer me many times, but I haven't been up there in a while. I've been up in that area for a while.
I would highly recommend it. So Three Rivers Card Collector says if PA wasn't such a long state, I'd go. Yeah, well, I know from having driven across it a bunch of times, many times, that it's 310 miles on Route 80 from Stroudsburg to I guess it's Sharon is the last stop. So here's a good question. How has the Philly show changed over the years, or has it changed? Good question, Mike.
It's certainly changed, but at its core, I think we have a lot of the same long-time vintage dealers. We have the mix. It's felt very mixed in terms of selection for a while. You have gone through a stretch where you have a little more of the semi-celebrity types of guys setting up. Like you got some, I know Nash Cards was coming out for a while, and you have a few more national dealers, guys coming out to it, but there's not that much corporate stuff. You get a little bit more of that. I know the Cards HQ guys were there a show or two ago, but they had a very small setup all the way in the back. Even PSA at the last show, they were crammed in the back. Most people didn't even know they were there. Beckett usually has their table set up. I don't know why, because there's rarely anyone ever at their table, but SGC's always got a decent setup. Obviously, great selection there for vintage. People use them. CGC, I know, was there a few times, and then they kind of gave up on it. I don't know if they intend on coming back, but they haven't been there lately. So it's certainly gotten bigger. It's gotten busier as years have gone on. More and more people attending, the same way it has with the National, where it just keeps expanding, seemingly getting bigger and bigger. But I think at its core, it's still fairly similar. I don't know what you think, John.
First of all, Ed is in the green room and he's going to eat all the snacks if you don't let him out of the green room, Dan.
I got to find him. Oh, there he is. Okay, awesome.
Yeah.
Sorry, Ed.
There we go. There he is.
Hey, fellas.
Ed, how are you?
So
I'm doing good.
Ed's here.
Did you?
Who's winning the game, guys?
It's
It's tied
tied.
last I saw, right?
2-2.
Roger Clemens' son at the plate. The Rocket was in Allentown last night watching Cody's final game there for the Iron Pigs.
Yeah, he. You know what also was really cool is that Dusty Baker's son, the kid that almost got run over at home plate in the 2002 World Series, he had his debut for Washington this week, and he got a hit today, I guess. So hopefully nobody ran him over.
You guys were talking about like the question that Rick asked, has the Philly show changed? I remember, Mike, we actually did a video, I think in either 2021 or 2022, about how much the show has changed a lot, because the Philly show, well, I think you could say this for most regional shows like Chantilly, White Plains, Shriners, especially here on the East Coast. Like a lot of dealers that set up at those shows they used to cater more towards the in-market crowd, the in-market fan base. So like Shriners be really Red Sox and Boston sports heavy. White Plains be very New York sports heavy. Philly show very Philly sports heavy, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. But I feel like the Philly show used to have a lot of Philly show only dealers, like local, specifically like very local dealers who would just set up with Philly sports area cards and stuff like that. And they're still there, but it's not as much as it was back in like 2018, 2017, 2016.
Ed, how many years have you been going to the Philly show?
I've been to every single Philly show since 2015.
Oh, wow. Okay. And where was it in 15? Was it at the casino still?
Yeah, it was at Valley Forge,
Right.
the Valley Forge Casino. And then for a brief period, they moved to the current location, the Greater Philadelphia Convention Center in Oaks.
After the floods?
After the flood, the basement at the Valley Forge Casino got flooded, and they did like a whole year at Oaks, which was great because the Oaks Convention Center is huge. It's a way bigger venue. Then they moved back to Valley Forge, the casino, and it was very clear from after the pandemic, when they started doing shows again, that they clearly outgrew the venue. It was starting to become like kind of a safety hazard.
Yeah, we were talking about that before you were here. Mike was saying, like the last one, you could hardly get through the aisles. And I have been to every Philly show since the first one after COVID, which was June of 21. So I actually went to maybe 3 at the casino, and it kept getting worse.
And like one of the big
Parking
draw,
up the hill.
there's a lot of people that go to the Philly show, like being, I'm sure Mike will tell you and John will tell you, like being a local, like there's a lot of people that go to the Philly show who aren't even card collectors. Like they'll go specifically for the autographs because they'll get like A tier list Philly athletes to sign autographs. Like they get all the big names, and then they'll get like Hall of Famers too from out of town to come in. So there's people that specifically go just for the autographs. Like I remember one of the all-time greatest Philly shows that I ever went to was after the Eagles won the Super Bowl. They had the whole Super Bowl team there, like Nick Foles, Chris Long, Alshon Jeffrey, like Zach Ertz, like pretty much the
Bobby
whole team.
Shantz.
Bobby Shantz was there.
Bobby Shantz
the
is not coming this time. I'm on the page on my laptop.
He'll be there. They prop him up. Yeah.
Jeff Jenkins,
all
Ryan
those
Howard,
guys from 2008 are coming. Yeah, the
Bradley,
2008 Phillies.
Charlie Manuel passed away, didn't he?
No,
Was he
he's still alive. No, he's alive.
Oh, I thought I'm bet. Jamie Moyer, there you go. I think Jamie Moyer might be the oldest person signing autographs this year. I think he's older than Bobby Shantz.
He's a Philly local, by the way. He's a Philly local, Jamie Moore.
But just the atmosphere of that show from 2018, I've never experienced anything like it. Like all the dealers were on cloud 9, all the attendees were on cloud 9, and this is still pre-boom, so it was like a predominantly, I would say it was like a 90% Philadelphia crowd that was at the show. And man, making deals with the dealers at that show was some of the easiest negotiations ever. Dealers were just like, well, like they were just on cloud 9 because it was just such a great feeling that Eagles finally won a Super Bowl.
Well, they have Michael Vick is going to be there, as will Ron Jaworski. Speaking of Philly Super Bowls, Randall Cunningham. There you go. Nobody from the Super Bowl champs. Dave Winfield, Tim Raines, Julio Franco. Yeah, I mean, I have to say that I was saying this before, the autographs for this show have always been really strong. And I'm not sure why that is. It's better than any show on the East Coast that I've been to.
Have you even know anything about Philadelphia, Dan? We're pretty passionate people. It's sports and cards. Like it's no mystery. There's no secret sauce.
Problem is, I can't really understand what you're saying. There's like an accent. I'm not sure.
Yeah, we go hardcore here.
My accent is nothing like theirs accents, man. Trust me. I have to communicate with people outside of the 215, so my accent's a little softer.
So I hear that people from Philly like to eat big. So I got this picture of John eating the biggest steak that's ever been put on a plate.
He said, let's get the tomahawk, and he orders like the princess cut or whatever. You know, like after I ordered my tomahawk, it wasn't fair.
That does not look like a Wawa hoagie.
The other gentleman in the picture is, of course, Mike Petty, who we all know and love as the greatest Hall of Fame commenter and now frequent guest on multiple shows. But I guess this is this week, right, John?
That was Friday night in L.A. I'm in Vegas right now, but that was L.A. Yeah.
Nice. And looks like he got some lobster, but you just went for the largest piece of steak ever known to mankind. So
he's got a little bit of a steak hiding there, but he's got shrimp, lobster, and a loaded baked potato. I got French fries. So.
And I think he's got his hand on
glass. Yeah, most likely yes.
Are you drinking sparkling water there?
Mine's a Zima. I have a Zima. Yeah. Sheets is not better than Wawa. Oh my God.
Who said that? Three River.
Some Yinzer.
All right, now you're talking a language I've never heard. So I, been in plenty of Wawas over the years, and I have to say this is offensive to me because I think sheets is sheet or shite, as they say.
There's
in
Wawa,
Ireland.
there's Wawas in North Jersey now, right? So you can get a little taste
Well,
of
I've
that.
driven down to Florida like 15 times, so I've been in plenty,
They're down there.
plenty of
Yeah.
sheets in
Yeah.
Orlando, yeah.
I don't know what that means.
So, what's that?
What does this mean?
Hey,
Buc-ee's.
that's a Texas. That's a Midwest thing, I think, right?
Oh,
Yeah, I
okay.
think
Oh,
That's
okay.
a
The only
Texas
time
gas
I've seen
station.
them is driving across Texas. They're big. I know that. That's about all I remember about it.
So Philadelphia was the home of both Bowman and Fleer, but not of Philadelphia. The Philadelphia football cards of the 1960s were built in Philadelphia. I don't know, somewhere else in the country, right, John?
I thought it was the Philadelphia Gum Company. It's not this. They weren't in Philly. I thought that they were in Delaware County. Maybe I'm wrong. Right by Ray. I think they were from Ray's basement.
Clifton Heights, out there in
Clifton.
Clifton Heights.
Well, the thing about Pennsylvania and baseball cards is that there's all these.
Yeah.
There's York, there's the York Caramels, and there's the Yingling,
Yeah.
and they're all over the place. I don't know, how did Pennsylvania become so good at baseball cards?
Because we're the
We
great
we started the
Commonwealth.
hobby.
Yeah, we started the hobby. We started
As
card
said on a
shows.
great live stream one time. You're welcome, hobby.
Yeah. Philadelphia comes from Delco, so they were made in Philly. Dan, nice try.
Okay,
Also Derry APA, right? That's where all the more baseball cards were made outside of Scranton than any other place in the world from 65 to 97.
is that right?
All your
What is there,
dreams
like-
start. There we go. There's our boy. There's Delco. Just popped up on the bottom.
Ray's
Havertz.
probably sick to his stomach right now watching this Phillies Braves game. He might have given up and put on the 1980 VHS tape.
It's a lot of Fleer was made in a lot of those were made in Olney, where I was born. I was born in Olney, in the Olney section of Philly. So I remember driving past that factory in the early '80s, visiting my grandparents and all that stuff. It was still remember where it was. Your Billy Ripken Eric cards from made in Philadelphia, or Jersey, somewhere over there.
All right, so are we all going to the Philly show in 3 weeks?
Of
I hope
course.
so.
No.
What?
My schedule might have flipped a little bit, but I'm sure I'll find a way to get there at least one day. But
Man,
I was
call
fully
out.
intending to go all day Friday and all day Saturday. It's slightly in question now. But I'll find a way to do something.
Ed?
Yeah, I'll
I'll be-
definitely be there. I'll definitely be there.
And I'm going to,
I'm-
I have Keating's address, so I'm going to drive to his house and make sure he goes.
I'll be on a golf course with Bobby Shantz, so you won't see me. Ray's coming out of the Delco there. Did you see that? He never goes to the Philly show.
He's overdue.
He
been a couple
hasn't been
years.
to the new venue yet. Come on, right? Jesus Christ.
Last time I saw him was in Atlantic City at the National. He doesn't go to the Philly show. He's a fraud.
That's a little strong.
He's going to be an empty nester soon, so we'll be seeing more of him, I think.
Well, I'm going to be there on Saturday, the 21st, which I'm looking forward to. I have done the Friday session. I think the Friday session is actually really good.
I think they extend it, unless I missed it. I only glanced at it, but the last few years they've tried that little scheme to get you to spend a few extra bucks for the 2-hour early entry. I think they just extended the hours of the show, unless I missed something on Friday. Which I prefer. I like to do Friday if I can, but Friday or Saturday. Sunday's like a last resort, or if you're dying for an autograph, especially with
Friday's
football
very,
season
very
starting.
popular. Yeah, Friday's popular with that early bird thing. I know Ray's friends. Ray and I are friends with twin brothers. I'm friends with one. Ray's friends with the other, and I know that they go there early in the Friday afternoon. Get a lot done there before the big crowds come.
If you
Before the
want to
rain
go,
comes, I guess.
if you want to go to the, if you're watching this and you want to go to the Philly show when it's absolutely dead, go Sunday in either the fall or the winter show, because if the Eagles are on, there will be nobody there. There will be a ghost
Including
town.
half the dealers. So that's the problem.
I did
It-
go on a Sunday once. My wife came in town and was hanging out with a friend, and I went on all day Saturday, and then I went Sunday, and it was at the casino. And the worst part of the Sunday show, and you're right, whoever had said there was going to be nobody there was there. But the people that were there all had body odor. So I would recommend avoiding Sunday for body odor purposes.
That was
Yeah,
the
it looks
people from
like
Jersey. That was Mookie's people.
Yeah.
it looks like now the show hours are just listed as 1 p.m. to 8 p.m. on Friday.
Okay.
The last few years, I think it's been 3 to 8, and then they try and charge you like $20 to go in at 1. So it's nice
They
to see
have
them
raised
just
the admission a
figure it
lot.
out. Specifically at the door, the door is extra on Saturday. You're better off ordering it online if you're certainly going Saturday.
Yeah.
It's 15 online, 20 on the door.
Remember the days of $8 admission?
I feel like it used to be like $3 admission.
Oh, you're
That might have
right.
been when Ed was in a diaper, though. I don't remember.
20 at the door on Saturday is the first. That's gone up.
Yeah,
It's never been
it's
20
gone.
before.
It's still in a diaper.
$20 is
Ed,
yeah.
stand
It
up. You
keeps going up.
were in a diaper. Ed.
No depends
Popular,
here.
I mean, well, Saturday's a madhouse because of the autos, and I know sometimes. What was it? A couple shows ago where like half the Sixers team didn't show up, so there was like overlapping people trying to get autographs, and it was like a madhouse because those people didn't leave the autograph area, and the other people were entering the autograph area. It was just a zoo back there.
I haven't done autographs in a few of them, but last time Bill Chappell sets up in the first row, and I was trying to look through his stuff, and there were just people like practically on my back trying to get into the autograph room. So I don't know if it was run that well at that point. Mark is asking when is the next one after September? It's generally in December, usually in the beginning of the month, right?
Yep, March, September, December.
Yeah.
It's weird though on their site though, Mike. Are you on their site? It says next one is March after this one, which is weird. They don't mention the September one. I don't know why, but
Yeah,
or they don't mention the December one. Yeah.
Interesting. I don't see that. I think you're just making that up.
What's it say?
Upcoming
shows.
Upcoming shows. I don't know. Maybe
they're
I'm
pretty
on the,
bad at having future dates up. I don't know.
Yeah, this,
what's so hard about that?
This one, the show that that we're going to in 3 weeks. It took them a while to get that up there. I wasn't even sure when it was going to be, particularly, even though I've gone to like a ton of them. But at this point,
So there's an upcoming shows list that all the way on the bottom of the main page, and it does for 24 shows. It says December 13 to 15, and then 2025 show dates are March 7th, September 19th, and December 12th. So similar times.
I was probably looking at the pet show page. Sorry about that.
Well, it's hard to find because up on the top, or if you click on the schedule, it's nowhere to be seen. But it's like literally on the main page, all the way down at the bottom, they have some red bars with contact info, admission, show hours, all that stuff.
But you know what? It's a well-run show. There's never any, other than a bunch of Sixers sleeping in. It's like there's never any drama there. About the worst thing you could say about the show is the guy that sells supplies there is miserable, and I don't know why I walked past there, but
not a premium show for picking up supplies. If you're desperate and you need something, it's available. But You'll never feel less appreciated as a
So
customer
true.
than buying supplies at
So
the Philly
true.
show.
No. Yeah.
What about you, Ed? Before you came on, I was talking about you do a lot of non-sports stuff. How's that? That's a good show for you.
Well,
right?
there is a
Philly show?
non-sport show in Philly too. It's the longest running non-sports show as well. The Philly non-sports card show. It's actually in the same. It's held in the same venue, and that's held twice a year. That's usually held in the spring and in the fall. So I think it's in October. I've never been to that. I've missed that show 6 straight times. I planned on going, and it just, for whatever reason, I just didn't get around to going to it. But that show's really good as well. That should be an out. Yep. That show's really good as well.
Got to get a new cable service. I saw that out like good 60, 70 seconds
Comcast
ago.
blows. But Rittenhouse Archive sets up at the show. They are one of like the premier non-sports card companies. So they got like a lot of different licenses.
They're based out of Philadelphia area.
Yes,
aren't
they're based
That's
out
a
of
Philly.
Philadelphia.
That's a Philly name, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, and they've done so many like really big non-sports sets from like Star Trek, Game of Thrones, Twilight Zone, James Bond, so a whole bunch of different type of stuff.
So,
But you'll get the vintage there too. There's a lot of vintage non-sports there, which there's been a lot more
I
eyes
gotta
on
go there.
recently. Yeah,
I
there's
know
a lot.
Don has been at that.
called the Fish Town show.
No, that's at the casino or the Rivers Casino downtown.
It's a different-
That's a
it's a
shiny
different-
show, right?
Okay.
What?
Yeah,
What show's that?
I've never attended it.
The Fishtown show.
I've never been to that show. I don't feel there's a need when I have the Philly show.
I would go and check it out at some point, but it always seems to be on a weekend where I have other stuff, and it's not real cheap to get in, and it's not hard to get to, but it ain't the easiest place. So maybe someday I'll check it out. But I do feel like that's the type of show you're going to go to. And if you're not into the Pokemon or the super shiny basketball stuff, it might not be your favorite show of all time. But you never know. You go to those types of shows, you can find some really cool old school stuff at good prices sometimes. People just happen to run into it, and they're like, who's this Hank Aaron guy? I don't want this card. Like, I just want to move this. And so you never know.
Well, you guys say Ray doesn't go to any shows, but look, he was at the Fishtown show 2 weeks ago.
He's lying.
Fishtown's like one of my least favorite parts of the city, too. I'm sure it is for John as well.
My kid lives there. My kid lives right across from the casino.
Oh,
He had his car stolen, so yeah, it's a shitty part of town. It's a hipster part of town, but yeah.
Is the guy you're talking about BCW? Is that the guy who's really
Yeah.
gloomy looking?
Yeah.
He was at the
Yeah, he was at the
Plains
National
show.
too.
Lynn Terry?
Yeah.
I buy from him almost every show, and when I walked by him at the White Plains show, he gave me this look like, "Why aren't you stopping and buying?" And the reason is because I now buy online from the penny sleever, so it's a better deal and nicer people, and I don't know, just better. Oh,
Look at that, man.
I'm showing that off for Ray.
And a 75
2012
setup.
Little
Wow,
shake and
that's
bake,
nice.
baby. Shake and bake.
Arnold Bake McBride.
wait, is that a real card?
Good for
Yeah.
no.
It's,
But it's not a 75, it's a
no.
It's from like archives.
Whatever.
right?
Yeah, it's archives.
Archives
from
He was
Heritage.
not on the
2012.
Phillies in '75. He was on St. Louis, wasn't he?
Archive signature series. They do like a lot of like retired players, like autographs, and even some more of the like the good players for their time, but like some of the guys who don't get autographs, some of the more obscure ones. I bought this at a Philly show like back in like 2015 or 16.
I think
But
Bake
I-
McBride was Ray's favorite outfielder until Johan Rojas came along.
That this is true. But
Bro.
I pulled it out because I pulled it out because I had a feeling Ray might show up. So Shake and Bake is his boy, so I had to show Shake and Bake.
Yeah,
By the way,
it was good for 14 doubles a year.
I got something for you too, John. This is a pretty cool card. This is also one I got at the Philly show a long time ago. This is from Upper Deck. It's numbered out of 25 of your boy. This is a pretty rare card. You don't see many autographs of this guy in this particular uniform.
Oh,
Look at that, man. Holy
Reggie
mackerel.
Jackson
That's a beaut right there, man.
in the Orioles
Absolute beaut.
uniform.
Yeah. Oh my God.
isn't he on the Orioles in the 77 tops? Because they made
No,
the
he's a
card.
Yankee.
He's a
I
Yankee
think-
in the 77 Burger King, but I'm pretty sure he's
No, he's
in a.
no.
Oh no, you're right.
No,
He's
no,
got the
no,
bad.
no,
It's
no.
the bad hat. Yeah, it's the.
Yep.
I think he was only on the Orioles for 2 years, right? Was it 2 or 1 year?
One
Just
year.
one.
One.
Okay.
And barely that because he held out and they traded him like after spring training and he didn't. Yeah. So what a team that was. The Orioles were great back then, and then they had Reggie Jackson.
But like this card, like at the Philly show, one of the we get a good amount of Maryland dealers as well. So they'll bring like some Orioles stuff, some obscure Orioles stuff, and so yeah, the obscure Orioles autograph there of a Hall of Famer, John's boy.
Nice.
Cheltenham, baby.
Here's another Philly show card. Oh, sorry, I'm just grabbing some cards here, but
Please go.
Doc Holliday.
Oh,
Got that.
Holliday,
I
yeah.
remember thinking to myself, this because when I go to the Philly show, I don't bring that much money. I'll bring like $200 to $300. I got this a while ago. This was before he passed away, too. And I remember thinking, oh my God, I'm going to blow my budget all in one card. But glad I did it because
it's probably like a $800 card now. So
yeah, this is a
good
very
investment
expensive
piece
card
for
now.
for Ed there, Ed the investor.
Are you going after any 2008 autos there? Either one.
Well,
of
I'll
you guys,
show you
or no?
two. This is probably my favorite card that I've ever bought at the Philly show. Mike might know this card. I'm pretty sure I bought it off our friend Bob when he used to set up at the Philly show. Chase Utley. That's from 2011, the Diamond
What is it?
Anniversary. So Chase Utley,
What does it
Diamond
say?
Anniversary.
Yeah.
It says congrats
what's it say
because
on the
it's
side? Oh, congrats.
congrats.
Okay.
Yeah, because it was part of a subset celebrating. I think it was the 100. It was like the 75th year of Tops. 75th anniversary of Tops. So I still have the price sticker on there, $75. So that's one that got away from Ken Golden. Ken Golden always going around buying up every Chase Utley card he can find.
And they set up a booth there every show. Golden does, I think.
I've been told by dealers that because I talk to a lot of the dealers at the Philly show. I've been told he goes around specifically looking for Chase Utley cards and just buys them up.
I've never actually
Before
seen
doors open, I guess,
the Philly
right?
show. Can himself, I've never seen at the Philly show. I've seen his booth every time. It's usually like 3 guys that look like they're in the mob.
Oh,
Here's
look
a
at
cool
that.
card.
Man. Wow. Concrete
Nice.
Charlie.
In a PSA 8, and guess what? It was $30. Still have the price sticker on it. I think that was from like 20. You know, this is weird. I bought this in I want to say like 2016 or 2017, and I just checked the barcode, and it's still in someone's set registry. So I'm like, I bought this like 8, 9, 10 years ago.
Right.
It's probably
Somehow-
in Ray's set registry.
He's not going to sign it. Utley's not going to sign there this show, right? He's not going to show up.
No,
he's not.
he did it a couple shows ago. It was wild. People went crazy for him.
This was
Him
the
and
card.
Kelsey.
This was the card I bought at that Philly show I mentioned when the Eagles won the Super Bowl in 2018. Some dealer had this, and when you catch the game-winning touchdown in the Super Bowl, you kind of have to add this into your collection as an Eagles fan.
I got a question for you. When do you think we're going to start seeing some of the female athletes signing at these shows, these regional shows, right? Like your Caitlin Clarks or even some of the soccer players, all that stuff. That's got to be happening soon, right?
I would imagine maybe that's a possibility. You know, I was reading about this. It is kind of crazy that Philly doesn't have a WNBA team with all like the history that Philly sports has, especially with like Dawn Staley and all the college basketball history in the city.
Yeah, they could play at Temple or they could play at Villa. They could play anywhere. They don't have to play downtown.
Yeah, the Palestra.
Yeah, Palestra. That'd be nice.
Oh, there you go.
There you go. We got a little variety here. We're going all over. We're showing some Prism, but then we're showing some Bowman here. Little Robin Roberts. I got this off B-Rolf.
Oh, okay.
So 2.
I don't know if Brian's in the chat or not.
Yeah, Brian's always at the Philly show as well. He sets up. So always like to stop by his booth.
Yeah, he gets all the way on the end as far as you can go.
Yeah, up against the wall.
Keating?
Never a wrong time to get a Chick-fil-A Phyllis. John, you got any Chick-fil-A Phyllis in your collection?
I don't. No, I don't.
Come on, man. You need some Chick-Phyllis in that collection, son.
You could get a shot for that. I had that once, and after meeting Little Rock County, I got a little Chick-Phyllis.
After I bought this, the dealer said my pleasure, too.
What's Dan doing? Dan looks like he's going to serve a subpoena to somebody.
There we go. Mike O's favorite player.
Juan Soto.
Another one I got at the Philly show.
I
remember the
Keating card.
There it is. There it is, right there, man. Ray Keating.
It's
I can't
authentic.
believe you found that. I can't believe you found that in the middle of all those cars in Cleveland, and then you found it again, right?
Yes.
Like you said you saw it somewhere, forgot where it was, and then you found it the next day.
Well, I found the card in a Oh, there we go.
That's numbered out of 100.
Nice. Yeah, I found the Keating card in a box. Didn't know you were going to be there. Saw you, and then said, "Oh, I got to go back and find it." And then I bought it, and then you have it already.
I already have. Yeah, I already need. I already need one more of the Z-Nuts.
He's got a card in the Cracker Jack set. You got to get the Cracker Jack card.
He's got 2. I've got the 1915. I can't. The 1914. Good luck finding that, but I do have the 1915.
I can't remember if I got this at the Philly show or at a mall show. Mike O might know better than me because I remember him being like, "Damn it, you bought that! I wanted it," but I think I found it first. I bought it raw and got it graded. The Bond Bread Delinis.
Oh, nice!
Look at that. That's Connie Mack Stadium, right?
Damn. You got to look at the pop count on that. That might be highest graded.
Yeah, it might be. That was before. That was before Blue Jacket did that pumping. I got him before that.
I got the Bond Bread Feller at the National as 7, and it's top graded. There's like 9 of them or 8 of them, something like that. And so anyway, Ray wants you to show your Cameron Rupp rookies.
I don't have any right at the moment, right? But
Troll
I do got
Philly.
They're in this. Yeah, they're in the safe deposit box right now. He'll get them Tuesday when the bank opens.
And our friend Stu said
they're locked in
Lynx
the vault.
players have been at the Twin Cities show signing.
There you go.
Yeah, like maybe I want Stu. Has Maya Moore like ever signed at any of the shows? I wonder. Probably, I would assume so.
I can never remember any of the New York Liberty signing at any of the New York shows, and they're Liberty like the best team in the league. There we go, Willie Mays.
This is one of my all-time favorite Philly show pickups too. I remember Mike was with me. Mike and Reese were with me. I remember walking into the Philly show. This was on, I think, Saturday morning, and I brought like $250 with me, and the first table I went to, I saw this, and I'm like, am I literally going to spend all my money in like 2 minutes of being in the show? And I thought about it, walked around. I think within 10 minutes, I went back. I asked the dealer about this, and the one on top had a black. It was signed in black, but this one underneath was signed in blue. And I was just like, you know what? I got to add this into the collection. So I was like, what's the best price you'll do? And he actually took $20 off, so I got it for 180. But I was on cloud nine. This is just to
He got banned
talk
for
a little.
that. He got banned for that. Yeah.
Yeah, just to talk a little bit about this. This is from, I call this the AC Willie, and this is the Atlantic City Casino promotion of Willie Mays when him and Mickey Mantle used to sign there back in the 80s. So they had these like little promotionals, and he would sign for like $5 to $10. And so this is one of the promotionals. So you can see at the bottom there, Caesars Entertainment and Bally's. And it's signed there in blue.
And then who suspended him? Was it Bowie Kuhn?
No, it was after that. It was
Uberoth?
yeah, it was after that. It wasn't. Was it Uberoth? Maybe it was Kuhn. Maybe it was Bowie Kuhn.
I remember talking
I
to
feel like it was in the 80s.
This dealer in particular that was selling this. He usually sells like higher end stuff. Like he had the 49 Sealess Phillies. I think he had the Robin Roberts there, and he like didn't he have the Ashburn, the 49 Sealess Ashburn?
I don't remember seeing the Ashburn at the Philly show. I've seen like the Roberts and the Simmons and a few of the others,
but this dealer in particular, man, he has like normally like really cool, unique, and oftentimes expensive stuff. So I was talking to him, like I must have talked to him for about like 20 minutes because he didn't really want to come off 200, which is
Ed trying to sweet talk his way into a deal
because it's Willie Mays. And I remember I was just like I was talking about the piece. I'm like, yeah, he used to sign at Caesars and Bally's with Mickey Mantle, and the dealer was like, oh, I wish I had Mickey Mantle. And I right on the spot, I'm like, why would you want Mickey Mantle? Willie Mays was better. You got the better player, man. So, and then he's like, you know what? I can tell you're a fan. I'll give it to you for 180. I was probably annoying the guy. He wanted me to get the hell away from him.
Yeah.
What you call him business?
When Ed
It's too
shows up
early
at
for
your
this
table and buys
bullshit.
the card, you get a lecture. Yeah, you get a lecture from Ed as well. You get his money and a lecture.
I'm sure in the back of the guy's mind's like, listen, I'll tell this guy 180. Hopefully he gets out of here. But if it takes 150, I'll do it.
Dude, that's another thing. That's another thing I'll say about the Philly show. It's awesome to interact with the dealers because sometimes the dealers will give you like
unless you're buying supplies, of course.
Yeah, but no, the dealers. Some of the dealers there, like they can be kind of snarky, and I just give it right back to them sometimes. And I would only kind of do that at Philly, but it gets funny sometimes. Like if a dealer hasn't like almost like snapped at you a little bit, you haven't had the full Philly show experience.
Yeah, well, Ed's going to get himself in trouble one of these days because you're sitting there, looking at stuff, looking at some cool cards, and then he's got to come across the Cap Ansons, and then Ed starts going on one of his rants, and the guy's like, listen, I've got, $100,000 in Cap Anson inventory.
Yeah.
I'd prefer you not to be disclosing his past atrocities to prospective buyers.
They're going to have his photo up at the ticket booth. Ed's photo. They're not going to let him in. He's going to be banned. First person banned from a card show.
So the chat has reminded us it was in fact Kuhn, and then Uberoth reinstated them. I do now remember that Uberoth came in and he was like the feel good guy. He'd done the Olympics and now he was going to run baseball, and he did a pretty good job. And then. There we go. What current Philly player would have the longest autograph line? Good question.
It would have been Kelsey.
Yeah.
But he retired.
Thankfully, he's not a current player anymore.
That's Mike.
Actually, no. Put him back on because those two guys are everywhere.
What about
Mike O's fave?
like Schmidt.
He's there. He signed. I think he was there last time. Schmidt and Carlton were there
Yeah.
recently, right?
Yeah, he's been there.
But
He's been there a
His
good amount.
line, is it just the? I
Yeah.
guess the lines are
The
going to be.
thing is, like Harper, I think would have a bigger line than Schmidt because so many people have Schmidt. Schmidt's autograph is more readily available. He's been on so many cards. He's on a lot of memorabilia. He did a lot of signings for the Hall of Fame back in the day. So
Yeah, the
that
old
plays
guy.
a role in it as well.
I would say it's Utley. Utley sold out instantly.
I mean, the
For
hardest
his pick.
autograph to get for 2008 Philly is So Taguchi, who was like one of their worst bench players. So, but he's really difficult to get an autograph of.
Embiid? No.
I
Is
was
Embiid-
thinking Embiid too, but I haven't seen Embiid sign at that show. I've seen
There was a-
Maxey sign there
in-
and all that stuff, right?
There was a show, I can't remember where it was. This is forever ago. This is like 2017. Wait, what was
Dale
Embiid's
Murphy, yeah.
rookie year?
20. Well, he didn't play his
18?
rookie year.
What
No.
was that year? That whatever his rookie year was.
I think it was 16.
He did a signing at some smaller play. I can't even remember where it was. I don't remember if it was Bucks or Montgomery County. And like nobody was getting his autograph. I remember you could have gotten his autograph for like $20.
Bill
Wow.
Bill Cosby.
Well, he was injured, right?
Yeah, he didn't play.
What about Pedro? That great former Philly Pedro Martinez, I think, just signed.
He was
Wasn't
there,
recently at the Philly show. Yeah.
One of the funniest interactions I ever had was Pete Rose at the Philly show. This was during the pandemic.
You paid
And-
money for a Pete Rose autograph?
No, like I
Just
ran.
an
I told
interaction.
you the story before.
Oh, yeah.
I ran into him. This was Saturday, and it was in the Valley Forge Casino, so it was like mobbed out the door. That's foul ball. Sorry. It was mobbed out the door. And if you ever been to the Valley Forge Casino basement, there's like the elevators at the bottom. So, and there's only one way in. So it was all these people, all these kids with their Pelican cases, all these people waiting to get autographs, and all these like older guys
Snarky
with
comments coming from Ed.
all these older guys with the backpacks and their briefcases too. Like it was just a mob scene. So Pete Rose gets off the elevator, and I'm coming down the steps, and Pete Rose is like, "Look at that! Well, can I curse?"
Yes.
He's like, "Look at this fucking bullshit! I can't even get through. How am I going to get through?" So Pete had two handlers, both women, and he's like, "Make way, make way, make way." So Ray always calls Pete Rose the king. So I'm up the steps and I go like, "Make way for the king." And like Pete Rose parts all the Pelican case, older people, everything. Everyone gets out of the way. He parted the Philly show C. And I walked right behind him. I ran down the steps. I get right directly behind him. And I'm like, "God bless you, Pete. Thank you, Pete. Appreciate you, Pete." And he just looks at me. He's like, "This shit." He's like, "This shit's ridiculous."
Good old Pete.
Good old Pete, the king, baby, the king, as Ray says.
I wonder what happened to his 50,000 bobbleheads they produced for his Wall of Fame night that got canceled.
They got thrown in the Delaware River.
Kids are playing with them in the Amazon jungle right now.
He's at pretty much every show that I go to.
Oh
I
yeah.
was gonna say, unless you're desperate to meet
I'm
him,
still paying
you-
for his
you
autograph.
you could buy his autograph pretty cheap at this point.
Yeah, I mean,
I-
it's like
But, well, you know what though? It's not that. It's the rookie cards, right? Like he
Yeah.
charges a premium for the rookie cards, and people keep paying him. People aren't getting him to sign, the 80 Burger King Phillies card. They're getting him to pay to sign the 63 Topps card. He's making them in.
John,
Is
you'll
he
appreciate this.
What is?
because
about
now everybody
something?
does that with the rookie cards. They charge extra for rookie cards, but the first one I ever saw do that was Rose. Is that anybody? No.
Well, another interaction I had was Donovan McNabb, who I did find out does refer to himself in the third person as number 5. Like, I couldn't believe that. I was just like, because he was doing a
He's
photo
He's
session.
a 5 out of 10. He's a 5 out
He-
of 10. is what
He was doing a photo session, and they have like this like little like oh, what the hell? It's like a window shade. So like you could basically see the person and hear their conversation, because I'm trying to make a deal with a dealer that's like right next to the photo booth. And holy shit, he's like, number 5, appreciate you stopping by. Number 5, appreciate you. Number 5, appreciate you
Come
getting
on,
your
man.
photo with him. And I'm like, holy
God.
shit. I'm like, so I yelled into the curtain. I'm like, yo, number 5, what up, big dog? And then he just waved. He put his hand above the curtain and started waving. He's like, number 5 appreciates his fans. I'm like, holy shit, he's pulling Ricky Henderson. He's referring to himself in the third person.
Yeah, Pete Rose is now signs some occasionally. I'm sorry, I bet on baseball on his cards for a premium, which is pathetic and sad, but I guess.
Well, Lenny
It-
Dykstra will do all kinds of inscriptions for free. He's so desperate for autographs. Bleep Mitch,
Yeah.
all kinds of stuff.
Oh my god, yeah.
Keith Hernandez signs, if you ask him, the Seinfeld thing. Something was it? Nice game, pretty boy. Is the Seinfeld thing. So he'll sign that for people, and he gets a kick out of it. So not offended by it. I guess.
Didn't Topanga come to a Philly show one year? I was signing. Pretty
Not
sure
that
she
I
did.
remember. I know the Soup Nazi from Seinfeld's been at the Philly show quite a few times. I think he was at the National as well.
Yeah, he has his own separate.
I forget what his name is. Larry Thomas or something
Yeah.
like that. I forget.
His name's Soup Nazi.
Yeah, I could never figure out who's getting soup Nazi autographs. So back to the Philly show before we wrap it up, gentlemen. We've got 12, 16, 20, 24, 28, 31 autograph guests. Mostly Philly players, but there's some other guys in here like Winfield and Tim Raines. And wait, Kurt Schilling is going to be there. I didn't even see that. Oh, that's not good.
You don't see Winfield and Raines out there that much, do you? Like, I don't.
I saw
They're never at the
I had a
National,
chance
right?
to get Winfield in a Jersey show pre-COVID. Joe Theismann is going to be there, and a couple of hockey guys. I don't know who's Tyson.
Surprised they didn't
Tyson-
get. Surprised they didn't get LT. That would have been a good thing. LT and Theismann.
Yeah.
They would have made it. They would have cleaned up, right? You can clean up doing that. They could have charged
Yeah.
whatever they want.
All right. Joe Blanton. There you go.
Isn't he
2008.
Yeah.
the last pitcher? Isn't he the last pitcher to still have a home run in the World Series?
That was great,
Think so.
man.
Mhm.
No Matt Stairs though. Matt Stairs not showing up for this.
He's done a lot of Philly shows in the
Has he?
past, but
And
He went to
there's-
my friend's wedding.
LT signing autos in Kensington.
That's
Oh,
messed up, Unicorn.
Kenzo,
Chelsea.
yeah, Kenzo's an easy target, man.
You
And
don't
if
want
you
to go
don't
to a
know-
card show there.
if you don't get an autograph at the Philly show, you can always pick one up. Pick up a West Covington for a few bucks.
Where's that? Is that Clearwater? Do you think?
I guess it's a advertisement piece for Freihofers. Always buy Freihofers.
Oh, nice.
You never know what
Wherever
you're going to
that
run into at the Philly show.
I love that oddball stuff.
That's a lot of what I look at when I'm at the Philly show. I'll look for stuff like that.
I
I'll
thought you
look
were
for
going to
cards
show
as
off.
well, but
I thought you were going to show off the Dick Allen banquet card.
I should have. I
That's
grabbed the
like-
stuff at last second, but that is one of the
That-
cooler things.
I think that's one of the
picked up.
all. Yeah, that's one of the all-time
Yeah.
great ones that you got.
I did pick up a couple that I pulled out a couple of these George Burke photos. It's the old images of the old uniforms and stuff.
Look at that! Look at that logo, man. That's beautiful.
Would have been great if they did something like that, for the City Connect instead of that eyesore they wear that some people seem to love, but not my favorite thing.
People go crazy over that. Yeah, Rice stole a Dick Allen rookie card at the Philly show.
That was the one I was looking at the Neshaminy show 2 weeks earlier. I was going to buy it, and I was like, "Oh, Ray, yeah, I saw one," and then he went and scooped it out.
Went to the ATM and scooped it out. Freaking Ray, man.
So the Philly
Right.
show will be in Hall A, but the autograph pavilion and more, I don't know what and more means, will be in Hall B. So they're actually taking up 2 this time.
They've done that
So-
before. I think they did that before because sometimes
Yeah.
it's a madhouse when it's in one hall. So I think they did
Yeah.
that last time or 2 times ago.
Yeah, that's probably why I didn't get bumped into while shopping at Bill Chappell's tables this time. Yeah,
I'm
this
positive
past
I'm positive the pet show community is going to not be happy about that.
Yeah.
And I don't know what they're doing this time for trade nights, but I've gone to some of the trade nights, which aren't bad, to just kind of go and hang out. I've hung out with some fellow YouTubers there, and you'll see. I mean,
where do they have them? Where is that, Mike? Where
they have it in a little room in the center, so I can't remember exactly. They've moved it around a few times, but it's kind of right there, so you can do the show, and then it's probably like a half hour after the show. So I think I've run over, got something to eat, head back, hang out with people. But you see some cool stuff. Like I'm not someone who trades at those things. Like I'll look around. Usually don't pick up stuff, but I know some people who hang out there, so that's always something. If you have the time, it's worth checking out. I wouldn't go out of my way to stay.
Tell us a good story. Trade up challenge. Let's go.
I mean, I don't do those trade ups. I just kind of walk around, but I know one of Ed's favorite YouTubers, Santiago Sports, is sometimes involved. So there you go. That's one of those new age YouTubers that show up, or new age dealers, influencers, whatever.
Bring some Febreze.
That breeze.
Are we ever going to win this game, man? It's 2-2. Kyle Schwarber's up. Come on, man.
Not with Kyle Schwarber at, and I can tell you that.
Man,
how many Ghost Runners are on right now?
One Ghost Runner. Need to win this game, man.
It's the 11th inning.
Who's pitching? Who's left?
That's
Split the series. At the very least, they split the series. That's good.
They can't move the runner over. It's so frustrating. Richie Ashburn would have moved the runner over.
He also would have fouled off 16 pitches and wore the pitcher down.
And hit 2 women in the audience.
Same woman twice.
Hey, on the way out the door.
What a gangster. What are the odds of that?
Boy.
Oh, wow.
At least
we're at
happens at least
55.
once.
We went up.
55 what?
We're at 55
No, I think
viewers.
that's the Dan. That's the demographic. That's
We got
the
53
amount of
viewers
It's
now.
the
I don't know.
average age of the viewers. Everybody's off
also-
tomorrow, huh? You lucky bastards.
This is a disclaimer, I should say. If Baseball Collector ever comes to the Philly show, don't wear any Cowboys gear, please. Don't bring that spotlight on yourself.
Or Ed, if you're looking for some premium content, encourage him to wear Dallas stuff and follow him around.
You'll hear about it.
You'll definitely have at least verbal abuse.
Yeah,
Physical altercation is a probability.
He's made noise about going to the Philly show, as have quite a few other people.
We drove by it when he was up.
Definitely not.
If he came here wearing Cowboy stuff, he would hear it at the airport. I'm telling you right now.
Yeah, he's a cupcake. He doesn't wear that stuff. He wears his Texas Rangers because nobody cares about the Texas Rangers. So that's his
that's smart.
uniform.
That cool minor league jersey, buddy.
John, I mean, if he came with a Evan Smith jersey, I could totally see John just dropping him off on Kensington Avenue.
The Philly show, it's just around the corner. I'm going to go park. Kensington Card Show, man. That's where we're going.
Do you think Mike Petty would survive on Kensington Avenue?
He would. Yeah, he would be the king of Kenzo. If you took Mike Petty down there.
Look at this guy. Look at what he eats.
Dude is a legend. He's a freaking legend.
I mean,
guy.
there's more money on that. There's more money on that table than all of Kensington.
He's got a whiskey. He's survived.
He was stuffing shrimp in his pockets, man. He took 2 bags. He took 2 bags away from that table that night. He's still eating that stuff. And just, I'll be the first to say it in case it slips out later on. We had 1 dessert and 2 spoons, so we did share a dessert, but it was glorious.
What kind
Who's
of
fried
dessert?
those? Are those your fries, John?
Those are my fries. I don't know who put the ketchup there, but those were my fries. I didn't eat any of the fries. He took the fries home. He yelled at me because I had 2 fries. I mean, it's a 32-ounce ribeye right there. You know.
Okay, but the most important question, of the stream, how did you get it cooked?
Oh,
You got it
medium rare.
medium. Okay, good. Thank God.
Medium rare. Yeah. He got his rare. His, by the way, is rare. Mine's medium rare.
The most important question of the stream is who picked up the check?
John, judging by his face on that picture.
No, it was our friend Mike Petty. He was an incredibly gracious host. So if it had been lunch, I threatened there to get there lunch. I would have picked it up if it was lunch because it would have been the lunch menu, which is a lot cheaper. But since it was 6:30, 7 o'clock at night, yeah.
Mike said you tried to pick up the check and he wouldn't let you, so you're off the hook.
He's a great guy. Yeah, he's an absolute.
Or did you just do one of those things where you reached out, not intending to do it? Let him say no.
Damn, John, you ate a cheap date.
Good time. I'm not a cheap date, man. Not at all.
32 ounces.
I'm eating cereal right now, dude. I'm still paying for that steak.
You better eat some vegetables. That's what you gotta do.
Nah.
Some roughage.
Good stuff, man. Yeah, it was good. Good company. The company was better than the meal. The meal was incredible. So, we sat there, we talked about cards, which is just fun stuff. You don't have to care about anything other than the cards. He showed me his cards, and just a fun night.
I don't know who Unicorn Cupcake is, but the first time I saw that picture of you, John, I also said it was a Fred Flintstone Brontosaurus. So.
Yeah.
Mike, since you're 5 minutes ahead, what did the umpires say for out?
You didn't get the ruling yet? Castellanos is stepping to the plate. You say it's second and third right now.
Now, how fitting would it be if Castellanos has a walk-off? John's boy.
Yeah, you better get some
Mickey
chapstick
C.
on those lips, dude, if he does. Hear him bitching about who was hitting behind him the other day? He's bitching about who dude's bet 250 and he wants to have freaking Bryce Harper hitting behind him. What a candy ass. Your guy, he's your Bobby Abreu. You take
25 mil per year.
Fielders in Philly history. Yeah.
See, what sucks is Mike's going to know what happens like 10 minutes before me.
He won't react, though.
I mean, if you want me to, I'll let you know.
Mike's itching for a walk-off. He wants another Tops Now.
Yeah, you got to always put in those orders. There's Tops Now cards.
December 2024 Philly show, the world champion 2024 Phillies are going to be signing at that show, huh?
Oh,
imagine that.
I'm not sure how they're going to be.
Little Ranger Suarez. Yeah.
Ed, you ordering a Tops Now card tomorrow?
Oh, Rice. John, you can't make this shit up, man. The one fucking Philly got to come up. It's got to be Nick Castellanos. Come on, man. The universe is speaking.
Where's the kid? Is the kid in school right now, or is he in the first row? His little boy.
Castellanos won the game.
That's how
Single to center.
Yeah, what,
Ray's getting his trash truck ready. By the way, that's one of the best videos. Watch Ray with the trash trucks when the Eagles won the World Series.
The World Series.
I,
Ed needs some rest.
the Super Bowl.
Trash trucks.
There we go. Walk off, baby.
Grease the poles. Grease the poles.
All right. Well, gentlemen, on that, Phillies win, which helps the Mets. So I appreciate you all coming in and chatting about the Philly show. And
Of course.
hopefully we'll be bringing some more people into the show, some more vintage collectors. We went up to 61 viewers. We're now at 55. So that's the good news. So Maiko, Ed, John, thank you all for doing it. And we will see you guys hopefully in a few weeks walking around the Philly show.
Yeah, it's a great show. It'll be fun. There's a lot to see. I mean, I think it's a show that's worth traveling for. If you travel for the Strongsville show, I haven't been to the Strongsville show, but from what I've heard, Philly show's pretty darn good in comparison.
Yep. Any parting words, Ed?
If you're on the fence about coming to the Philly show, just go. It's an incredible show. And I might be biased, but I think it's one of the best, is the best regional show in the country. It's a hit, and it's also a historic card show. It's the longest running card show in the country. So if you want the history, you want the vintage, you want the modern, whatever, Philly show has it all. So check it out.
Mr. Keating, any parting words?
Yeah, Nick Castellanos sucks balls.
Okay.
Oh.
All right, gentlemen. We'll see you soon.